about this boy? I mean, what is his background? Where does he come from exactly?
Although his father had been a well-regarded Midwestern congressman, Lindbergh's background, he'd been a mail pilot in the Midwest, left the Morrows and their East Coast friends unimpressed.
As one friend put it, the general view of Charles Lindbergh was, if it weren't for the flight, he would be running a gas station on the outskirts of St. Louis.
That characterization really is really insulting to both of them. It was a much more complex relationship than a mechanic from St. Louis, lovely flower of an aristocratic family. Much more complex than that.
As Charles and Anne prepared for what would become a life of love and certainly adventure, Elizabeth, Anne's sister, was sadly diagnosed with heart disease. She was only 30 when she died. We'll be right back.
ABC News, Vanished, Stolen in the Night, will continue in a moment.
I want to tell you my secret now. I see dead people.
What do you think the ghosts want?
They want me to do things for them.
Oh, you're scaring me.
How often do you see them?
All the time. They're everywhere.
Not every gift
Is anyone there?
is a blessing. The Sixth Sense.
Please make them leave.
I'm working on it.
Rated PG-13. Starts Friday, August 6th.
AT&T 00 Info, how can I help you?
Yes, I'd like the phone number of the Blue Lagoon Resort. I don't know the area code. Do I need to call Florida information?
Now all you need is one number to get any local or long-distance number. AT&T customers, dial 00. You never need the area code.
Got it. I'm there.
Dial 00 for any number anywhere, even Yellow Page listings, and get connected for free.
Oh, it's magic. You know.
Boy, you're sweating like crazy. You got TV cameras all over you.
We asked the hottest pros under the sun to switch antiperspirant.
Invisible solid? What's that?
Degree Invisible Solid is body heat activated with a clear difference.
Right there. See, there's no white stuff.
Degree works hard but never shows.
You gotta be cool.
I'm a cop. I've got to be in good shape. And I've got to have a lot of energy. Working out is key. But what really helps me is Slim Fast. I've been having a shake for lunch almost every day for the past 9 years. It's quick, it's easy, it's satisfying. Slim Fast is healthy for you. It gives me what I need.
Vitamins, minerals, protein, carbs. It's great nutrition.
I have more endurance during my workout, more stamina. It's my energy drink. It makes me feel great. I love it.
Slim Fast every day. Balanced nutrition for a healthy life.
It works for me. It can work for you.
If only snacking weren't just about treating yourself, but about treating yourself well. In this spirit, Snackwell's brings you Caramel Delights cookies. Divinely rich, yet amazingly reduced in fat. Snackwell's Caramel Delights. Live well, snack well.
You're on Love Matters. When love matters, I'm here to help. Dave?
Yeah, I'm having this problem with my girlfriend. It's kind of involved.
Diarrhea. Get it, and you want it gone.
You're a really good listener, you know.
He needs Imodium AD.
Imodium Advanced. It's even better.
Only Imodium Advanced relieves diarrhea plus cramps and bloating by combining 2 medicines, and it's even faster than Imodium AD.
So was I right to invite my mom along on my honeymoon?
Oh, Dave, absolutely.
Imodium Advanced. Faster relief you can count on.
From the director of The Godfather.
God has been good to us.
The epic saga of one American family.
I saw my brother get killed right in front of me.
Jimmy Smits, Jennifer Lopez, Edward James Olmos, Isai Morales.
Your father's never gonna leave you again.
The network television premiere, My Family, Mi Familia, ABC Saturday.
I'm putting my foot down. You are not going to that interview with Dr. Staretsky.
Okay, Berg. I guess I just didn't really realize it was going to upset you this much.
Well, it does.
Well, whatever you want me to do. Well, that was a fun trip back to the 50s. Now get out of my face.
2 Guys and a Girl moves to 8/7 Central, July 21st on ABC. ABC News Vanished. Stolen in the Night continues. Once again, Peter Jennings.
Charles Lindbergh and Anne Morrow were married in 1929. They managed to keep the wedding a secret, but nothing else about their life ever was. Charles Lindbergh had hoped that marriage would offer some sanctuary from the relentless glare of public life. But when the press learned he was engaged to Anne Morrow, these 2 shy individuals were transformed overnight into the country's most glamorous couple.
It was the Depression. There was nothing very good happening in the country, and here was this incredible couple, and it sort of lifted your spirits.
There was this beautiful couple. He was such a good-looking man, and she was such a beautiful little woman and delicate, and she wrote poetry, and she was refined, and she was rich. It was prince and princess.
Reporters dogged their every step. Even a romantic getaway flight over the Mexican countryside became front-page news when their plane lost a wheel and flipped over while landing. Lindbergh was incensed to find photographers on the spot.
Well, the story went around that Lindbergh had ordered the Mexican soldiers who were there to confiscate the cameras of the reporters and destroy their film. They were none too pleased.
This was really the beginning of, I think, this kind of war that was going to be waged for the rest of Charles Lindbergh's life between him and the press corps.
He shouldn't have flown that plane across the Atlantic if he didn't want to be hounded by the press. Lindbergh couldn't have it both ways. He couldn't be the idol of the American public and still have nothing to do with newspapers.
On May the 12th, 1929, Charles and Anne were secretly married at the Morrow family estate in New Jersey. Lindbergh had made elaborate plans to escape the press, even buying a yacht so they could honeymoon in privacy off the New England coast. It took a week, but the reporters found them.
One of the press guys goes out with a bullhorn and says that he wants just one shot of the newlyweds, and that would be it.
They rather panicked. Anne hid below decks for 8 hours. It was rather ridiculous. They could have just, had their picture taken and gone on their merry way.
In a cold fury, Lindbergh started the engines and headed out to sea.
Lindbergh would not give the press the satisfaction. He found this such an incursion into his life. I mean, this is the beginning of the paparazzi. This is the beginning of the invasion, the real invasion of personal lives.
If he read something in the paper about himself and it said, Charles Lindbergh says this, or Lindy does that, and it wasn't true, which it often wasn't, it made him furious.
Every time the Lindberghs went out the door, there would be one of these cameras and the blinding light that went off.
Lindbergh knew there was only one place where the world could not follow them.
When they were in a plane, this was a way that they could ensure their privacy. And I think that's one of the reasons that she did go on these very, very arduous survey flights with Lindbergh.
He had been teaching Anne to fly, which was its own kind of ordeal.
It was hard being taught by Lindbergh, who was a perfectionist, made her practice these landings and takeoffs over and over again.
It is arduous, it is rough, it is unrelenting, and Lindbergh never cut anybody any slack, and he wasn't going to cut her any slack either.
When the lessons were over, Anne was one of the country's most capable women pilots. Together, America's first couple of the air would chart new flight paths, flying over the North Pole to reach Asia, surveying South America, discovering ancient Mayan ruins in the Yucatan. It was a time in their lives that Anne would call their hour of gold.
The gold of that time had to do with a kind of purity, as opposed to riches. It had to do with the purity of experience, extraordinary freedom in the air, and also the sense of it as a treasured time. They did fly over places that nobody had ever seen before, and there was a feeling that this landscape was theirs. All these new places, all these old places, the ancient ruins, and the earth itself was theirs.
When Anne found that she was pregnant, the Lindberghs knew their flying days together were numbered. And yet they kept going, even planning a high-altitude flight from California to New York when Anne was in her 7th month.
So the Lindberghs set a world speed record, crossing the country in less than 15 hours. Well, this is a major press event, but here's Anne Morrow Lindbergh, who for 15 hours has had noxious gas fumes, has had the rattling of the plane in an unpressurized cabin, 7 months pregnant. She is absolutely queasy by the end of this trip. She has turned